Okay, we are now live. Woo-hoo! Finally live on Facebook. So if you guys are following us through Facebook, then awesome. If you're not, then you should. Yeah. But if you know somebody who's not following us on Facebook, give them the link. So I'm going to actually be sending the link out right now to you, Kenny. So you can send it out or to anybody else, Fern. Okay. Today is a very special day. If you guys haven't already noticed, we have somebody else who's sitting in my seat, my comfortable double cushioned seat, which is my buddy Fern. Fern right there, our buddy Fern.
Thanks for having me on the podcast, brother. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
It's an honor to have a guy who is stop. Don't put the douche glasses on.
And of course,
don't put the douche glasses on.
We're only like 5 minutes in. He's already started.
Podcast. We are
behind the scenes, by the way.
Okay, you gonna stop?
Douchebag mode is in play right now. All right, I'm back. Hello.
We're live right now because. We're happy to have Fernando, which is his full government name. We call him Fern. We're happy to have him on here.
No middle initial.
He's
it was an S for slow. We go way back, so this is gonna be a fun live.
He is actually one of our really close friend who is quite a boxing enthusiast. And we enjoy watching boxing matches with him. So we today are talking about the one, the only, the massive fight that's actually happening this weekend, which is between Caleb Sweet Hands Plant and Canelo Alvarez.
That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who Caleb Plant is, I'm gonna go ahead and show you.
For my millions of fans, or the last two watching, we're talking boxing here for this part of the podcast and the live.
I absolutely love our fans. One of our long following fan is shout out to our mom.
Yep.
She's actually helped us put this together in her basement. I'm just joking about it.
It's gonna be our basement someday, okay?
But we are talking Canelo Plant today, guys, and it's this weekend. We're 4 days away. We're waiting. We're anticipating. We saw that they arrived today in Las Vegas, Kenny. We saw that Caleb Plant walked in. He did his interview. Fernando was on his way to the studio here, so I'm not sure if he caught a glimpse of them arriving, but we did capture a glimpse of Canelo's also arriving with a full-blown mariachi, man. What do you think, Kenny?
I mean, if he would have arrived with anything less, I would have been disappointed. To be honest. I mean, we're Mexican. I mean, he's Mexican, and
that's true.
Our presence is known. You can be as quiet as you want to be, or it's kind of hard to ignore the Mexican presence. So,
well, what's not hard to ignore is the fact that for the first time ever, the super middleweight division is going to be unified, whether it's Canelo or Plant. First time ever. We're going to give our predictions a little bit.
The Thanos of boxing. The Thanos of boxing has collected 3 of the 4 major belts. And I gotta hand it to Caleb, man. He played his cards right. He stayed very quiet as Canelo was bulldozing through the middleweight division or super middleweight division, and basically all the work for him. Now he just has to beat one guy instead of beating 3 other guys. So he's played his cards very well. Good job, Caleb.
He has.
And that's the thing. You guys gotta understand that Canelo put all of this work to take all the belts. So why is he such a big deal in the world of boxing? Is because he actually stepped up to take these champions' belts. He made ex-champions now. And Caleb, all he has to do is literally win, and he'll become the undisputed. Can you really, in the sense of saying, I am undisputed champion, can you really say you're undisputed if You never fought the boxers that he had to beat to gain the belts that he has now. When you're saying that you've only had to beat one other boxer, which is the current holder of all the belts, is that really the undisputed? Is it a way of saying the guy actually beat one person rather than having to beat all the other ones? Can you really say that's an undisputed person?
Fern, take this one.
Technically you can say that, but I guess the issue that I have is all the other antics that have gone on, and that was actually one of the things we're going to bring up, is one of the things that he's been saying about Canelo is Canelo's a PED cheat, right? He's using steroids, he's a drug cheat, right? And that's funny that he says that, because if you go back and look at the program that he is a part of right now, it's a snack program. And when you talk about the snack program, who runs the snack program, Kenny?
A guy by the name of Victor Conte. If you guys don't know who Victor Conte, for some of the younger people watching, during the late 90s, early 2000s, he got in trouble. He went to prison for steroid distribution. He was in charge of Balco Pharmaceuticals, if I remember the name of the company, and he facilitated drugs, steroids to many athletes across the spectrum of sports.
Marion Jones, Shane Mosley, just to name a few. But
a lot of cyclists. I mean, and you name it.
Right.
Every sport.
So that was the issue that I had, is he sits there and wants to say that it's not about money. But me and you both know it's about money, because if he wanted to stand on principles, he would say, you know what, Canelo, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to hold on to this belt because you don't deserve a shot at that. But he's doing it because of the money. And like I said, when it comes to cleaning up the sport, you have to keep that same energy. You can't sit there and associate with a known and proven cheater and yet call somebody out for the same thing, when there has been other instances where they ran a hair follicle test on them and it came back negative. So, I mean, Mexico's known, right, Gus, for having clenbuterol in the meat. I mean,
very small micro doses. It pops up as.
Wait, why are you asking me? Because I'm the darkest one here.
Of course.
Yes, it's known to have it in the meat, but it
helps the meat. It's something they use to make the animal, the cow, produce more mass, basically more meat per cow.
So then, when they're saying that it's known to be in the meat, it's because they feed it to the cows, and this produces bigger, better, juicier, more scrumptious meat.
Right.
Trigger warning to the vegans.
And I mean, this will be the equivalent of if Vern and I would have a mega fight coming up, and Gus got busted 15 years ago for selling steroids to the biggest sports stars on the planet, and Gus out of nowhere comes out with a supplement company that's been around for a few years now, and now is helping Caleb. I should be concerned, because he knows things that I possibly don't know, and also that makes Caleb look like a complete hypocrite, because you're over here telling one guy, hey, you're a cheat, and the guy that's helping you is a known cheat.
And he's also
guilty by association.
Yeah, and he's also come out and stated too that he can get around any test that boxing has to offer. So now, when somebody that you're associated with says something like that, isn't that a cause for concern? I mean, it would be to me, but Canelo said he doesn't care. Don't make excuses before the fight. November 6th, we're gonna see what happens, and we'll go from there.
If Canelo's not afraid, then you shouldn't be afraid either. Go. You're a fighter. You're a prize fighter. That terminology goes back.
I don't ever want to hear you say if Canelo is afraid. There's no question Canelo is not afraid.
That's what I'm saying. He's not afraid.
He's not afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it back a lot to the old school world of boxing. If you guys remember, there was no room to be afraid. You didn't fight, you got your belt taken away.
Right.
You need to fight.
Right.
There was no room for, I don't want to fight this person. I want the bigger bag. I want this. I want that. I feel that with Canelo, we've actually had a glimpse of what that used to be, because he's fought in champions.
Right.
He hasn't just taken on anybody. And when people say, oh, well, who has he beat? He's beat champions, guys. He's beat champions.
World champions.
World champions who have held that title.
Undefeated world champions.
The last three.
Right?
The
Yeah,
last three,
have been
the
undefeated
last
world
three who have
champions.
held the belts that he now currently owns, where he took out 3 undefeated champions.
And if you're gonna say, for those of you out there, well, we've never heard this name. You've not been in boxing that good. You've not followed boxing correct. One of my favorite Canelo moments wasn't even in the ring. One of my favorite Canelo moments was when he had finished. I think it was Caleb Smith.
Callum Smith,
and he walks past Eddie Hearn, and he says, "Who's next?"
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So another thing that they don't talk about when it comes to Canelo, like you said, people will sit there and say, "We've never heard of these guys," right?
Yeah.
But at the same time,
His
though,
opponents.
too, the people that they have heard of, most people in boxing circles have heard of, because, of course, the casual fan is going to know maybe like the Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao, those kind of names.
The household names.
So, yeah, so when we talk about that, in looking in the boxing circles, the people that he has, or they say he should fight, he's made offers to multiple fighters, i.e., Jamal Charlo,
Yep.
Demetrius Andrade, Dimitri Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol. Like, he's made offers to these other people and they've declined them.
Yeah.
So at that point, what can you do if they don't want to fight you?
In fact, now that he's getting closer to real unifying his division, and possibly, with the exception, possibly Benavidez, but if he decides to go to the light heavyweight, Bivol and Beterbiev they're basically waiting to see if he's gonna do that. And Bivol has actually already turned down a fight with another great fighter. I forget his name, but in hopes that I think Canelo might want to fight him. Like they're basically holding out for the bag. The money's there for them.
And that's what they're all trying to do. Everybody's holding out for the bag because they want the easiest route to the title. Because if they get their ass whooped by Canelo, they can say, "Well, I got my ass whooped by Canelo." You know, there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
So they really have nothing to lose, but a lot to gain because they're gonna go home rich. It's a big payday.
Yeah, they got a
like
lot.
Canelo says, "Payday, I know, payday, payday, you want payday."
I think that was the rap song.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, dude, you're gonna have to fight the people in your division.
Yeah, or
Hey.
move up or shut up. You know
Move
what I
up.
mean? Like, a lot of these dudes that calling him out, they don't even fight at 168. So how you gonna say that he's ducking someone that don't even fight in that division?
It's the dog that barks at the other dog is behind the fence.
pretty much.
It's ridiculous. It's sad. We know what you're doing. You're like you're pumping at your chest. Come on, but you're in different divisions. It's like I can't even entertain it.
What's like a Chihuahua, bro? They can bark and bark, and as soon as you chase them, they take off running.
What do you think, guys? What's? I mean, this has never been done before by any fighter, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Nobody's ever unified all 4 titles. So this is a historic thing.
It's
Why so much scrutiny?
It's a lot of scrutiny because you got to remember it's lonely at the top and the jealousy comes from the bottom, baby.
Gee,
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
that
I
a
mean,
Wu-
Everybody
Was that a
wants to
Wu-Tang
be on
lyric?
top. Everyone wants to be on top.
Was that
They're
Wu-Tang?
not- look, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And those who have failed will continue to talk about how they almost did it. But you know what? You never did, baby. You never did. And now that somebody who is doing what you wanted to do, you're obviously going to be hating rather than congratulating.
So they're all player haters. That's what it is, man. Why does he gotta have all the belts, man? Why can't why can't he have 3 belts? I want one of those belts too. Like what the fuck?
well, and did you see the belt they're giving out for that?
I have not seen the belt. I can't imagine. Is it some like unicorn freaking leather?
It's what was it called? It was
They kill the Pegasus to make it.
what's the pyramid? The Street of the
Hieroglyphics?
Dead. No, the Street of the Dead in Mexico. What's the pyramid? It's a Teotihuacan belt. It's black, dude, in gold. It looks badass.
It's a big deal. If Caleb Sweethands can pull it off, wow. I think all of Mexico was shut down basically.
Right.
Basically the world, because it's like everybody's in consensus. Canelo's the best fighter, active fighter on the planet right now. Everybody knows this. I mean, you've had these. Mike Tyson laughed about when he was asked, how that fight's gonna go. He's gonna beat his ass. Like he's not even. He couldn't even keep a straight. He's gonna keep a straight face.
He's gonna kill him, is what he said. Pretty much.
All the experts things can happen. This is boxing, you know. Let's not forget Buster Douglas.
Right, right.
You know,
I mean, yeah, things happen.
things like that. Uh,
But so talking about that, and what's your prediction for the fight, and how do you think it's going to play out?
okay. I know I made a projection about a month ago, a few weeks ago. Canelo TKO 10th round or body shot knockout. Still in 10th round.
Right.
Something to that effect.
I'm not gonna say 10th round. I'm gonna keep that to 8th round. And
I
I'm gonna tell you
would-
why.
yeah.
I'll tell you why. But go ahead.
No, I agree with
Well, then
Kenny, but yeah, go ahead.
No. You got 2 versus 1. I want to hear your both.
Okay, so this is what I think is going to happen. Basically, in the fight, I think Caleb Plant's going to start off good.
Okay.
We all know he has great foot movement.
Yeah,
You know, he has
he does.
great movement. He can move. But like I told you earlier, the question's going to be, does he have the power to keep Canelo off of him? That's going to be the question. Because if he doesn't have the power, he's going to end up getting stopped in the late rounds. And I'll tell you why. Because like you said, body shots. Canelo's going to go to the body. He's going to jab him. He's going to corner him. He's going to put that mental pressure on him and push him back the whole fight. He's never felt anything like that before. He can say whatever he wants. It's all the same at the top level. No, there's levels to what very good is and elite is. And Canelo's elite. We both know that. We've been watching fights like that. You know, and a lot of people will sit there and say, "Oh, well, he has trouble with guys that move." He had trouble with guys that move when he was in his early 20s. Now he's hit his prime. I mean, we watched the Billy Joe Saunders fight together. I mean, look at Billy Joe Saunders is a southpaw, right?
Yeah,
he had great foot
southpaw.
movement. I mean, so that's a little bit more trickier than fighting somebody that's orthodox, right?
Yeah, already.
So that's one thing that I kind of see in his favor. He's already, his last fight was a very similar fight.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I just think that the accumulation of punches is going to take its toll. And like you said, either body shots, or I wouldn't be surprised if he catches them with something that just puts him out. But I believe it's going to be in the later rounds. But don't be surprised if he does catch him a little earlier than that with something big.
Something I've never seen. Yes. So adding to that, something I've never seen Caleb Plant do is being in trouble. Like where like the power is overwhelming power. So like when he hasn't fought somebody with that type of power and pressure. He's never fought. I'm not sure. I gotta look at his resume completely, but there's not many Mexicans that's super middleweight with that type of style. So the pressure that the Mexican style brings is not the same as the Midwest style, the American style. It's completely different ball game. He's never fought somebody like Truax came close, but Truax is. I mean, he's way past his prime.
Well,
He couldn't put him away. You really think that Canelo has a lesser chin than Truax?
I don't. I mean,
It's
we all know he doesn't.
He doesn't. So I mean, unless he starts swinging for the fences eventually, because that's all. I mean, if he can't get Canelo's respect, Canelo's not stopping. He's just gonna break you down. And yeah, so I said 10th round TKO, or a body knockout, like a body blow, something like that, like a Smith, Colin Smith
Right.
type of thing.
Well, you know, and then
Or not, was it Colin or Liam?
No, it was Callum
Yeah, it was
Smith.
Callum.
Liam Smith was his brother that he stopped at 154 as well with the body shot.
Yeah,
Remember
he
that?
also stopped the first champion he fought. His name escapes my name.
Rocky Field.
Rocky Fielding.
But that was a easy fight. But you know, you talked about styles that nobody's ever had that style. There's one person that does have that kind of Canelo style, and that's David Benavidez.
But he's a Mexican. He's Mexican. He's a Mexican.
And that's what I'm saying. So, and that was one of the guys that Plant really didn't want to fight. And like I said, you start going back to the things that Caleb Plant said over time, right? What did he say after he had beat Uzgategi, right? They said, hey, well, Canelo said he's open in May, and he's like, how many months is May? Oh, 2 months. He's like, oh, so they want to get me when I'm overworked, like, you know. But he's
already making excuses.
But that's what I'm saying. But he says he stays in shape.
Well, hold on
all
a
year
second,
round.
guys. I want to take that back where you guys were talking about Lara, right?
Okay.
So let's watch this highlight. I want you guys to pay attention. And can you really actually say that Plant has what Lara did or does?
Let's check out the clips.
So what we're watching here, guys, is we're watching Canelo Lara. First off, can you really, if you look at Lara, do you see a Caleb Plant?
Not at all.
Secondly, do you see Canelo now as fighting in the ring and having the same outcome as Canelo then?
No, he doesn't fight the same. He doesn't even fight the same. He's not fighting the same. He's much more poised and he's just so much crisper. Everything flows better. He's just smarter now. See, if you ask me, fighting the guys like Lara who runs around the ring excessively, Canelo here was wasting too much energy trying to chase him. He doesn't do that anymore. He just waits for the guys. He just you have to engage to win the fight, right? So he got smarter. He got mature. Like, okay, I don't even have to chase these guys anymore. They have to throw punches to win a fight. So let's go. Like, he just basically waits. He cuts the ring off better. He gives them no choice anymore.
Well, and to me, another thing that people don't bring up is I think this is maybe his second fight removed from the Floyd Mayweather loss.
Yeah.
Now you got to understand the mentality of a young fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming up, beating everybody, knocking everybody out, and then you run into a legendary fighter like that completely schools you and just totally bruises your ego and your pride. You know, like that's hard to come back from. Yeah. That's extremely hard to come back from. That's one of the things that people don't talk about enough. You know, because right after he fought, Mayweather, he took a little bit of time off. He came back against Angulo. Angulo is a straightforward fighter, easy to hit.
And Angulo, who actually beat Lara. He knocked him out, and he's super slow compared to...
Yeah. Let's also, look at the body.
Styles do make fights.
The body. Let's look at this body. That's a much smaller Canelo.
Yeah.
That's a much smaller Canelo.
And Lara is going to be exponentially faster than a 168-pound
correct me
Plant.
if I'm wrong, but isn't Lara older than Canelo in this fight?
Yes, he is.
And how much more older?
I'd say he was probably like 27 when Canelo was about 23 right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good.
And he had an extensive amateur background too.
So it's safe to say that he definitely had quite a bit more experience than Canelo.
Absolutely, yeah. He had more experience, and then not just that, he was actually in his prime at the time.
Okay, so we're gonna allow Kenny to pick up his phone because the phone went off and he should have put it on silent.
It's his alarm, guys. It's okay. He needs his blankie.
It's his alarm. So going back to this, guys, as we're looking at what's happening right now, a lot of Canelo.
Technical
Canelo
difficulty.
is a younger fighter in this highlight that we're watching against Lara. But what I do see is, and obviously we see a fast-moving opponent for Canelo. But this is what Caleb plans to bring to the table. What I see is I'm reading between the lines. And if you guys notice, this young Canelo, every time he hits Lara, he pushes him back. And those are heavy hits. And now if that's him doing it at age 22, I just want to know what he's going to do on this Saturday.
This is almost 8-9 years ago, dude. He's not the same. He's a much more refined, polished, perfect fighter.
Yeah, and that's the thing, people. That's what blows my mind about people that don't understand the sport, is they think that he's just hasn't worked on anything. He's just the same fighter that he's always been. He's made no improvements, right? And that's just not true. He's in the gym all the time, and look at all the fighters that he's fought.
He took 2 weeks off for his marriage.
Right.
For his marriage. That's for his marriage.
And then he came back.
And then he comes back. And then through the sources I hear from just from around the way from the grapevine is where they say it, right?
Through the grapevine.
That he took 2 weeks off, but while he was on vacation during his honeymoon, Reynoso will actually meet up with him to train, and his wife caught him. So it could be real.
Lying already.
It could be real. It could be fake. But it's something that I think would be plausible.
Well, when he was like, I'm back in the gym, Kayla was like, I've been in the gym. Like, well, bitch, I thought what happened to? I need time to recover.
Are you gonna get me when I'm over? Or that's what I'm saying.
That's the excuse that Kovalev used.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you see where the hypocrisy comes in? Because they'll say one thing and they'll do the same shit, and then what did Canelo turn around and do? Does anybody realize how many fights this is going to be within 1 year? This is going to be his fourth fight in 1 year.
That's every 3 months.
But this guy's complaining about being overworked. He did the same shit that you were complaining about.
Twice a year.
So what? If he loses to you, then you caught him when he was overworking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because he just beat Saunders 3 months. Was it July?
Believe it was. I could be mistaken. No, it wasn't July.
September? What was it, September?
No.
Anyway,
he fought Saunders
No, it was
right before his
July.
right before his.
I want to say it was August.
It was August because we couldn't.
That's after July.
Canelo didn't want, or
That's
Saunders
after.
didn't want to fight him during Cinco de Mayo.
No, it was June.
Was it June?
I think it was June. It was before. It definitely was before July, because I was in Washington. So.
Oh yeah.
But you know that's the point that I'm making is.
It was May 8th, guys. May 8th.
Oh, okay.
He fought May 8th?
May 8th. He fought May 8th.
Okay, well, even so, it's
No,
still
that's
going to
right.
be his fourth fight, for the year. And I don't know if you heard his plans for next year. He's wanting to fight another 4 times. And
Wait, he fought Saunders May 8th?
He fought Saunders May 8th.
And then, he had a fight. Didn't he fight his mandatory?
right before
mandatory.
that, what's his name?
He's one of those he's one of those fighters. Those
He's on his 4th fight.
no,
That's the point.
I know what you're trying to think about. But he's one of those snap fighters.
Yeah, you're like,
who's this guy?
what's his name?
Who's this guy? I can't remember his name. But anyways, I want to bring back the Saunders fight. The Saunders fight. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys a little highlight on the Saunders and Canelo fight because I have a prediction about what's gonna happen. Now I'm gonna show you guys the video of Saunders, Canelo, and it's gonna be the short version. It's not gonna be the full highlight version. But I want you guys to see what happened to Saunders. And then my prediction, I'll tell you, and then I'll show you why I believe this is going to happen to Plant. Okay, so
Let's see.
There's the eye. It's already been popped. Boom. Even though he popped him in the eye, he still went down that same avenue, down to the right. See, he had already popped him there. Still going down that avenue. Dips down to the right.
We can't see anything, but he's explaining to us.
Okay, so here we
there
go.
we go. Okay, here we go.
Even though...
But I mean, look, if you rewind it just a tad, just look at the difference in the way he's cutting the ring off and how explosive he is now that he's actually in his prime.
Broken eye,
Look
he's
at
still dipping down to the right. Now, guys, it's my prediction that Canelo is going to be he's going to catch Plant almost the exact same way as he caught Saunders.
That's very bold of you.
Because I'm going to show you.
Yeah, he was talking about this earlier. I don't know if you remember
yeah.
that. He said he dips down in a very similar way.
Yeah.
But he dips down.
When I dip, I
dips,
hit.
He dips down, yeah. When he dips down to the opposite way. So let's go ahead and bring up that highlight. Check this out. Watch that left hand. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Watch the left hand here. You're gonna see him practice it again. There it is. Can you guys see Plant dipping to the right? And if you guys don't think he's gonna dip to the right, I'm gonna show you guys why I believe he's gonna dip to the right. Okay, because I've seen this in other matches he's actually had.
Yeah, that's very possible. That he does. I mean, that's very possible. That's.
Let's watch this. This is
Like he thinks he's gonna swing.
versus his greatest opponent.
Who's
that
got the gi?
Look at that. What did he just do? Can you guys explain to me what he just did? That was huge.
That guy think.
Do you think Canelo's gonna allow this part to happen?
Right there when he dipped.
Watch this. Watch. You're gonna see him right now. Watch his dipness. He loves to do it. He loves to do this. Here we go. Watch this. He obviously, look at that.
Right there, yeah.
See that dip? He's gonna do it again. Watch. Canelo
Right there,
is
yeah.
not gonna allow that to happen.
He's also not gonna allow him to try. Like he's
Look
not
at
gonna
that.
be
Look at
lifting
that.
up.
You see that dip to the left or to his right? Watch. He'll do it over and over and over, and he glorifies that. I mean, does he get the miss hit? Yeah, he gets to. And if, I mean, you're not gonna allow that to.
Now, see, and a lot of people that are watching these highlights right now, they might see Caleb Plant beating all these dudes up. I'm like, well, fuck, dude, he looks pretty good. He might give Canelo a run for his money. A lot of people might even say, because we just watched the Laura highlight, that he looks better than Canelo.
How many of these guys are champions that he fought?
One.
How many of those did he take the belts from?
One world champion that he fought was Uzgatigi.
That's how he got the belt.
Yeah, that's how he got the belt. That's the
And
only
he's held it ever
that's what I'm
since.
saying. He's beat one world champion in his whole career.
Yep.
And that's the thing people don't understand is that a lot of it's hype. You have guys like Leonard Ellerby. One of the, I don't know, what is he, the CEO or of Mayweather Promotions?
I don't know who he's promoting that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, he says that Canelo's gonna beat him for sure, or Plant's gonna beat him for sure. Yeah, that Canelo's been beat and has been beaten in rounds. But I mean, I know this is going a little off topic, but if you look at Mayweather's career, has he not lost rounds? They sit there and can spew this bullshit to you all the time about, oh, well, it was an easy fight. It was an easy fight. It wasn't an easy fight when he fought Castillo, right?
Even De La Hoya.
Yeah, Castillo arguably beat him the first fight.
I'm not a Mayweather fan.
Right.
I can tell you that right off the bat. The reason I'm not a Mayweather fan is because, several reasons. One is I feel like he never really fought anybody that was in his prime. Smart choice on his side because
Right.
obviously he wanted to make those wins happen.
Right.
Was it going to be an easy win? Probably most of those fights were not going to be easy wins for him, but they were a lot easier if he would have fought them during their actual real prime.
Right.
That's first and foremost. Secondly, this is my input, why I'm not a Mayweather fan. Secondly, it's smart business for him to choose the fights so that he can make the money. Because if it came to the point where we all wanted to see Mayweather lose, we wanted to see Mayweather lose.
Right.
Right? However, he fed us that want and never gave us the actual food. And we bought into it. Is it his fault? No.
He was smart.
Big time smart, big props on him on that. I can't say that I'm a fan because all of his fights, I'd walk away because I'm like, it's not a good fight. I'm not interested in it.
See,
this is not the case to say.
Right. No, it's not the case. Just to piggyback off that again, we talked about it earlier about, there's a lot of certain boxing channels that scrutinize Canelo and everything he does. But if you look at Floyd Mayweather's career, how many people did he duck all the time? He didn't fight Paul Williams. He didn't fight Paul Spadafora. He didn't want to fight Antonio Margarito. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that was a big deal. He didn't want to fight Margarito.
Yeah. He fought Miguel Cotto after he had got knocked out by Margarito and Manny Pacquiao. And what did he say? He said, I still feel like he's an undefeated fighter because one guy was cheating and he fought at a catchweight. Yeah. But then you fought Canelo at a catchweight, so then is Canelo an undefeated fighter then? See what I'm saying?
The same logic.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Canelo's undefeated because Mayweather said so.
Canelo's undefeated because I don't know if I know you're looking at more highlights on the computer, but so Mayweather brought this point up
when he fought
Cotto. His point was that Cotto was an undefeated fighter because when he fought Margarito had cheated against him, correct?
He used plaster.
He used a plaster and hand wraps, okay? And then he said that when he fought Pacquiao fought him at a catchweight. But hold on, wait. Didn't you fight Canelo at a catchweight too, Floyd Mayweather? So then that makes him undefeated though, right? Because you had to fight him at a catchweight.
In his words, in Floyd
does that not
Money
make sense?
Mayweather's words,
logic.
That's if we're gonna use that logic, yeah, he would be undefeated.
I mean, it's from the horse's mouth. He's arguably the greatest fighter of all time, so I have to take his word on this one.
I gotta say, in his defense, I know that sounds weird, right? I just said I'm not a fan, but it sounds weird. But in his defense, he's taking a lot of hits to the head. He may not know what he's talking about.
It is boxing.
Hey guys,
it is boxing.
What you gotta understand is that with the triglycerides of the mental capacity of
So you guys, this past weekend, I'm sitting down. I'm getting ready to watch some Walking Dead.
Okay. Watching some wank bank stuff.
Some Walking Dead.
No, I'm sitting down. I'm getting ready to watch some Walking Dead.
Did you download the right one?
Getting ready to watch some Walking Dead with my wife because we're now watching the entire thing over.
Hold on, wait. What season are you on right now?
I'm in a season that I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want you to mess it up. Don't talk about it.
I just want to know what season
I
you're
think we're
in.
in season 5 now.
Season 5, retirement home strikes back.
So Kenny actually he calls me and says, "You gotta watch this highlight." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "There's a fight. The fight happened. It was Zepeda versus Vargas. You gotta watch the highlight." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Wait,
It's
before we do
it's
this,
barely-
our Boricua brothers out there, sisters, sorry in advance. If you're queasy, don't watch this next highlight.
But they already know that Mexico and Puerto Rico have a good rivalry, so they can't even get mad.
I'm just saying.
Because when they whoop one of our asses, they let us know about it.
Yeah, that's true. Man.
So,
I mean,
They have festivals.
No apologies,
They have
no apologies.
Festivals. I was trying to be nice.
So he called me and he says, "Hey, you gotta go to the highlights." What are you talking about, Fern? It's barely 8:45. The fight just started at 8:30.
We
right?
just finished dinner. Like, oh, the fight's about to start. You know.
I just barely grabbed my plate.
You just sat down, huh?
Just sat down and he goes, "Gotta watch the highlights." What are you talking about? It's 8:45. The fight just started. It should be in the second round. He goes, "I never made it to second round." So, you guys, one of the best fights that happened it happened this weekend. Didn't last very long, but it was way more exciting than any other Mayweather fight that I could have watched. Here it is, right here. You guys watch it, enjoy it.
I need this opportunity like this. It's gonna showcase my definitely my talent. It's gonna show that I definitely belong with the top fighters. You're in my hometown, kid. You're in my hometown. You're in New York City.
You're in trouble.
You don't know nothing about New York City.
All
You're
right.
a Cali boy.
All right.
I'm a small fighter. I got high IQ, baby boy. I'm fast on my footwork. Hands speak crazy. You will find out Saturday night. Saturday night is no different. It's another day in the office, another opponent in front of me, and you're gonna see what I'm about on Saturday night for sure. All I got in my mind is coming out victorious. So, and I'm confident about that. That's like 100%.
He's number 56 in the world. Why is he saying that? You know, I don't understand. But Saturday, like I said, he's gonna find out.
So, guys,
Sounds a lot like Plant.
it sounds a lot like Plant. Sounds a lot. He looks a little bit like Plant too. But Zepeda is, what's his ranking?
He's ranked number 1 now for the to challenge for the title for.
And what is Vargas' rank?
I'm not exactly sure.
56.
So why did they even make the fight?
Let me tell you why they made the fight. They made the fight because Vargas kept on pushing Zepeda to do it. Zepeda didn't have a boxing match, and he said, "You know what? I'll take it because I need to get in there. And you're going to learn that there's levels to this.
He
kid.
wasn't
There's
ready.
levels to this.
He wasn't ready.
Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you.
Well, prize fighters fight for prizes. I mean,
Right?
Let me show you this part because he definitely.
The names are, in the words of Larry Merchant, Floyd Mayweather, you are a prize fighter, correct?
So I'm going to show you guys this part because exactly what I told you is exactly what he says. There's levels to this. You're not on my level. He's not talking about, well, now we see he was talking about skill level. But he's
Right.
talking more, you have to climb the ladder. And you have to do it right.
Deep in his career to ever have a big left hand, and Vargas goes down face first. Who's got courage? The legs are gone on Josue Vargas, and this fight's over. This fight is done in less than 2 minutes. Zepeda says there's levels to this game, kid. At 23 years old, you got to be careful what you ask for.
I told him in the press conference, there's levels to this.
I think I saw a grown man beat up a child.
Well, he just
He owed him money. He showed him some respect.
I mean, was it even really a fight, or was it just like a glorified sparring session?
I've seen commercials last longer than this fight. Okay.
No shit.
Here we go. Ready? You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't blink.
Don't blink, because it's happening really quick. Okay, this is quicker than a date night.
Literally the first exchange.
Womp, 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 womp.
Because I'm an island boy. Yeah, my island boy.
Wow.
Oh, man. He was late for school.
Now, I have to ask this. Do you have the clip of Vargas's brother crying in the stands after he was talking all that shit?
I think Vargas was going out during the last exchange.
That's what I'm trying to make everybody understand, man. I will take an ass whooping any day. Somebody beats me up, whatever. I went in there, I did what I could. I
Right.
fought the guy, but I'm not gonna talk shit because that's a double ass whooping.
Right.
Look, Vargas should have been fighting a Rolly Romero. That's the same ranking in the same ballpark, and it's safe to say now that Rolly probably would have knocked him out too. As unorthodox and ugly fighter as he is.
Well, I think the point that he was making is there's levels to this game, right?
Yeah,
so is it
absolutely.
I mean, is that going back to the Canelo and Plant fight? I mean, is that kind of the point that you're making right now?
No, the point that I'm making is there is levels to this. There's levels, and if we bring back the conversation that I was having with, I'm wondering why I'm getting some audio. Anyways, the reason I was saying that there's levels to this is because there. If we bring back that Canelo and Mayweather, or I'm sorry, the Mayweather conversation that we were just having a few seconds ago, Mayweather fought people that were in his prime.
Right.
Either they were out of their prime or they were barely gonna get there.
Or they were,
Canelo's
or they were
prime,
like Oscar De La Hoya wearing fishnets and high heels, doing cocaine and shit.
Right.
So
He was on
you know,
that shit. He was on that
he
good
obviously
shit.
wasn't ready. But I mean, at the time, we didn't know that.
No.
And I gotta admit myself, I was a little embarrassed because I was a huge De La Hoya fan.
Yep.
And then once I found all that out, I was like, this dude.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Hey, and
We're not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but you gotta remember.
yeah, there's nothing
this
wrong
was
with it.
the pinnacle of masculine, boxers.
Yeah, no,
then.
there's
It was
nothing-
weird because he was doing drugs and stuff.
Yeah,
so it really wasn't.
there's nothing wrong with it, but you could tell where his mind was at. He wasn't focused on
he
fighting.
wasn't focused on fighting.
And my stepdad was trying to. I mean, he didn't tell me that, but he just told me about, that they had went to a car show one time, and all these fans were going up to him because they wanted autographs, and he told them no.
Yeah.
And that's kind of messed up because the fans are what made him.
Yeah, it's true.
So and my stepdad's always trying to tell me, dude, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit, and. I mean, he dissed his people, so I mean, I guess it kind of goes around,
At some
But
point.
it is what it is.
I mean, but Mayweather recently just said no to a kid wanted an autograph, but he said no to him because he had black nail polish on his he had his nails painted black.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
And they're giving him a bunch of shit, but I mean, good luck canceling that guy. He's worth $500 million plus, so he ain't gonna give it. He don't care at all.
Yeah, he don't have to work for nobody. He does his own thing.
Going back to what you guys had asked, is there a reason why you're saying that? Yes. Mayweather didn't fight people that were in their prime. I will say that because that is true. They were either out of their prime or they were barely going to be in their prime.
There was very few. There was a few. There was a couple. I would say Chico Corrales, maybe.
Chico Corrales was a good fighter, but I wouldn't say that he was elite.
He wasn't in his prime yet.
He was in his prime, but I mean, you gotta remember
He wasn't elite, that's for sure.
You gotta remember, in that time, he could barely make 130.
That's
He
true.
was
very tall.
very weight drained.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He was like a 6 foot, 130 pounder.
Yeah. I mean, so basically,
6'1".
he was starving himself to make that weight. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that we don't see that go into it, but I mean, you can't take that away from Floyd Mayweather. That he did beat a lot of champions and former champions. So, I mean, he does have accolades. But, there's some things that are questionable about his career, Like I said, there's certain fighters that he dug, like Paul Spadafora, Paul Williams, I mean...
At the time that he did steer clear of.
And then, I mean, I think we all know he lost to Castillo.
Yeah.
That
first fight.
I mean, that was a very controversial fight because if it wasn't, he wouldn't have given Castillo a rematch.
Exactly.
Now, don't get me wrong. He clearly beat Castillo in the second fight, but the first fight was the one that was in question.
Yep.
So, and it was very similar with Maidana.
Yeah.
He had a rematch with Maidana as well.
Well,
so...
Again, I go back to what I was saying. So, if we go back to what I was saying, he didn't really have...
The ants are going to love you, by the way.
My what?
The ants.
The ants? Why ants?
To the camera.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So when I talk about, and I'm showing you guys that there's levels, the levels behind, it's going to show this weekend. Caleb Plant is in his prime.
Oh, yeah, he's not gonna get better.
He's not going to get better. This is the best
Yeah,
Caleb Plant will
they're
bring to
fighting.
the table.
Yeah, he's
100%.
fighting. That's one thing you just hit it. You just hit it on the top right now. Canelo has fought prime fighters in their primes.
See, I kind of don't agree with that. Only in the sense that when we're talking about, yeah, he's in his prime, but you can make improvements because we've seen Canelo make improvements.
But how old is Caleb Plant? He's not a 23-year-old Canelo.
No, he's not a 20. But what I'm saying though is even though because Canelo's 31,
Okay.
he's obviously made improvement. Every fight he gets better.
Right.
Every fight. So I do think Caleb Plant can get better, but I think what you're maybe trying to say is that physically he won't be better than he is now, right? Not skills wise.
Yeah,
because he can
physically,
still kind of pick up skills.
How old is Caleb Plant? He's 30. He's 30.
No, he's younger. I think he's like 28.
28,
Yeah,
29?
28, 29. He's not over 30.
He's within his physical prime right now.
Let's put it in this perspective.
Okay.
Who did Mayweather take belts from?
Well, he took belts
A lot.
from a lot of older people.
Okay.
Right.
Give me a name.
Okay, Shane Mosley was older than him.
Okay.
Baldemir.
Yeah, Baldemir.
That was a fucking embarrassing.
Arturo Gotti.
Gotti. He
you know
fought
what I mean?
Gotti,
But
old
yeah.
ass Gotti at the time.
Yeah, so I
R.I.P.
mean-
Gotti. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Gotti. So
So okay, I get what you're saying.
Now,
you okay.
now, who did Canelo take the belts from?
Everybody was in their prime and
Yeah, I-
While
definitely
they
younger.
held the belt.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. All these, a lot of
Trout.
these.
He took
Yeah.
Trout's belt.
Triple G was a little older, but he still was an elite fighter.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. You're comparing the careers and saying that he's fighting prime fighters, But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Now,
I get what you're
is he
saying.
fighting? Is he taking the belts just to take the belts? No, he's actually fighting the people who have the belts. It just so happens that they're in their prime.
Right.
It just so
Right.
happens that they're in the prime.
Well, that's
Yeah.
he's
Now,
going after. Yeah.
Well, hold on. It just so happens that they are or have been in their prime. They're still in their prime. He
Right.
took the belts. The only one that's questionable is the one that you said was Triple G. Questionable, but he's an elite fighter. Guy can take.
Well, he was undefeated too.
Right.
And undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated. Yeah.
Okay. Did we see that from Mayweather where he went after fighters during the time that they were in the prime with their belts? Or did we see Mayweather picking fighters in between each title match, whether or not they were ready to fight? Right? So if I'm gonna put apples and oranges together, am I gonna say is Canelo a legend like Mayweather? No. Canelo is better than Mayweather because he's taking the belts from people who have been in their prime holding the belts. He didn't pick anybody
Right.
before the championship belt fights so that he can beat them when they're either older or when they're not ready.
There is one, but it was so controversial that I don't even want to count it. But Victor Ortiz, Mayweather, he was in his prime and he did challenge. Mayweather in this case was the challenger for his old belt back.
Yeah.
But we all know how that ended. With
Yeah,
the
we're
cheap-
actually
with
at
the
your
legal
mom's house watching the
with
fight.
the legal
You know, if you
with the
remember
legal
that.
cheap shot. It was legal, of course. It just seemed for street guys. It was the cheap type of unsportsman, but so was the head. But
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I had mixed feelings because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, Mayweather, he like you said, he did take a cheap shot, but at the same time, Ortiz did the same shit. So
Yeah, he
fair,
should've, yeah.
fair play to
Fair
the guy.
play.
You know what I mean? Fair
but
play
he
to
didn't.
him, you know?
We will never know if he would have beaten him.
He bent the rules a bit, but he was in the rules. You don't protect
It's
yourself
like,
at all
like
times.
tax evasion.
Yeah.
So that's my.
I haven't
input
tax
on
evaded
that.
anything, IRS.
That's my input on that. You guys, just so we can make it happen for El Señor. There he is, right there.
And now I have gotten back.
Yeah, I see his brother was talking all kinds of shit, and look, he's over there crying.
Not a good look, Puerto Rico. Not a good look. Nice hair though.
He's also right. We're going to the bodega later.
Guys, that was an embarrassing fight. Now that we've talked about Plant and and Canelo, you both think 10th round?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going with 10th round.
10th round for
I'm
10th
going.
round what?
I'm going 10th round TKO.
Kenny?
10th round, a body KO. KO by the
So yeah,
body
so he's
shot.
going for 10 round KO in 10. So
I'm saying 8th round, uppercut, broken jaw everywhere.
okay. I think he's gonna hit him with a left hook.
There's something else that
Left hook
I'm
upstairs.
not going to show right now, but there's something else that I noticed, and then you guys are going to go back and we're going to kind of look at these videos after this podcast. Something else I looked at very carefully every time Plant dips. And if you guys listening want to go and look at the videos of Caleb Plant's highlights, go back and look at them. But he opens his mouth, his jaw, every single time he dips down. And you know why he does that? Because he wants to catch breath. And when he dips back up, he uses that breath to explode anywhere he wants to go. I got a feeling he's going to get his jaw broken. You know better than anybody, guys, that you never keep your jaw loose when you're in a boxing match.
Unless you're Adrian Broner.
Unless you're
Right.
Adrian Brown.
And we all know what happened.
Or Victor Ortiz.
Or Victor Ortiz.
Or Josue Vargas.
Well, no, you don't. You just no. He made a mistake of fighting the number 1 contender while he was number 56.
Yeah, I think he...
I mean, at least he took his shot, though. You know, at least he took his shot.
He took a shot all the way home.
Right? Exactly. I mean,
Now
So now that we've talked about that, guys,
we gotta. What's up? What's up?
what else do we have?
We have the highly anticipated cherry picking fight of the year between Gervonta Davis and Rolly Romero is in question now. In fact, it's not in question. Rolly Romero has been taken out of the card
that's
for
what I was just gonna ask.
sexual allegations. Allegations. He hasn't gonna. We don't know what happens.
I read some of them. They seem pretty damning, but I don't know. I mean, you can never tell.
You can never tell.
Sometimes the optics look worse than what it
We
really
want to
is,
hope
you know?
maybe
So-
it wasn't, but the thing is, like, this goes back to, you got to be professional inside and outside of the ring. You can't be acting like a moron. These are $1 million fights. You're no longer in the hood, man.
Well,
You can have the mentality, but I'm like,
Well,
you got to control yourself, dude.
Right.
Whatever happened, I'm not
Right.
saying he did anything.
Just a little side note.
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Just a little side note, I know we talk about, you guys talk about all sports on here.
Mhm.
You're talking about how you're supposed to conduct yourself professionally.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you guys heard the news earlier today that wide receiver for the Raiders, Henry Ruggs, had actually got in a DUI crash that killed a woman in Vegas, and
Oof.
so his career is pretty much over. So
Yeah.
that's why we talk about, if
Your
you're
career.
a professional athlete, you have to kind of
keep your standards high. People look at you.
Right.
People, and by saying this, I mean kids that look
Right.
up to you
People,
will look at what you
you're a
do.
target. You're a huge target now.
Much better level, bigger level.
Right.
You have to set that.
Well, not even that. Just the fact that, he's obviously a player for the Las Vegas Raiders. They have services to pick him up if he's drunk somewhere.
Yes.
But it's unfortunate he chose to drive and somebody lost their life. But not just that, but his career and his life's over.
And I say we celebrate with a shot.
Well, right before we do that,
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Now that you brought up Tank Davis, who's up? Who's up next?
Oh, for Tank Davis, which I'm very glad, and this may take him off the cherry picking minute segment we did last episode. He's fighting the Pitbull Cruz, who's a 21-1-1, which is a great record.
Yeah.
Ranked number 2 by the IBF.
And he has power.
Number 6 by the WBO, and he's got power, and he's Mexican.
And that's one of
which
the
is
things.
always awesome for boxing.
Yeah, that's one of the
Mexican.
things with Davis. He's never fought anybody that can punch back, and not saying that he can punch back, but you talk about Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz was more of a volume puncher. You know what I mean?
he never had
didn't
the
have that
power.
power to hurt him.
So okay, guys. All right.
Of course, Tank's still the favorite. As boxing enthusiasts, we're not blind to the facts.
Right.
Good luck to Cruz, but I'm just glad that Davis is fighting a ranked fighter at that weight class and not fighting somebody who wasn't even ranked.
Right. Exactly.
So then, if Rolly Romero was not the person for him, then who would you choose to be the person for him?
For Tank Davis?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good one. Who you got?
Okay, he's new to because this is at 135.
It's at 135.
Yep.
If I could choose, I have two people that I think he should fight. He should fight either Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney.
Yep.
I think those are the fights to make right
Yep.
now. I mean, all those guys are in their prime. I mean, it's crazy to me to
They're in
think,
their prime now.
but it's crazy for me to think that look at the lightweight division is stacked right now. You got Lomachenko, you have Devin Haney, you have even Ryan Garcia. He's like a prospect contender coming up, right? You have him.
A losing prospect.
Yeah, Teofimo Lopez. You have Gervonta
Well, he hasn't
Davis. You have Rolly
No, he
Romero.
hasn't lost on the matches, but he's
Well,
losing his.
Yeah, he's wasting
you have,
his time.
You have Rolly Romero,
he's hurt
which is,
right now.
he's a work in progress, and then you have Shakur Stevenson. He's
Stevenson,
junior
but he's-
lightweight, but
If you wait, yeah,
he can make
50 pounds
that
away,
weight.
man.
You know what I mean?
That was a beautiful fucking
That's,
exhibition.
and that's what I'm saying. That
Shout out to Shakur Stevenson at the 130-pound division.
right, he got it done. But what I'm saying is, from 130 to 135, the division, those divisions are stacked. But none of these guys are fighting each other. You know what I mean? And that's why people nowadays are getting turned off to boxing.
Yeah.
Because the best aren't fighting the best. It's like you said with Vargas and Zepeda. He's fighting number 56. Nobody it's a great highlight knockout.
Yeah.
But people don't
I'll
want to see
take it.
that. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
because I
get
think
it.
the fight was made easier because they're both in the same promotional stable. So that was
Yeah.
an easy fight to make.
Okay, guys. All right. We all know Teofimo Lopez is gonna fight.
Cambosos.
Jr. Strong, a badass Australian.
Yeah, he's
So
a
then,
good fighter.
If Cambosos,
Dangerous fight. And
Whoever
I'm sure it's
wins-
extra mad because it's been postponing this fight for
Right.
like 2 months.
whoever wins out of that fight, who would you like to see go up against?
I mean, that's
The winner of that fight?
Correct.
they're top
go
dog.
for it.
Whoever wins that fight is still top dog.
So personally for myself, I know you seen what fight was it that Teofimo was at? There was a fight that he was at. It was just recent.
Oh.
And
It was
right-
the Shakur Stevenson, but so Haney and him traded
Yeah,
words.
they traded words.
Yeah.
So that's the fight I want to
I'd
see.
love
I
to
want to
watch
see
that
that fight right
David
there
Haney.
because Devin Haney and
See,
Lopez.
David Haney pisses me off because as good as he is, he calls out everybody and then nothing. No
Okay.
contract, nothing.
Let me show you guys. Let me put it this
You're
way.
barking and you're good. It's like a pit bull's barking. Okay, he's a pit bull, but he doesn't want to fight.
All right, let me put it this
problem.
way.
You
You
want-
got David Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Tank, and this guy
Cambosos. Those are the top 4 in the world in
Yeah.
that division.
You got those 4. Awesome fights. Is it safe to say David Haney versus Tank, Teofimo versus Cambosos, and then the winner of those 2?
That would be ideal.
Yeah, that would be ideal, but it's not gonna happen. I mean,
Only
and
one can wish, right?
well, and it wasn't that another thing that we're supposed to talk about Tank Davis possibly leaving Mayweather Promotions.
It's not a possibility. It's
I mean, it's a for sure thing.
Those
It's
fights
what
will
you're
never
saying.
happen unless Tank leaves that promotional company because they flat out said they're not fighting outside of their stable. So that leaves Tank looking like a scared boxer, like oh, he's never gonna fight Teofimo. Now what? Like now if he's a free agent like Canelo does, have you guys noticed that Canelo has no issue making fights
Right,
with
exactly.
anybody?
And that's because he'll take him as he like, hey, you know what? This is the fight that people want to see. This is the guy that everybody was talking about. This guy has a belt, and now the rumors are jumping to where he's gonna go after this fight to 175.
Yeah.
Now, where does that leave Canelo? Does it really make him the Thanos of boxing if he takes the belts at 175 after taking the belts at 168?
Bernard Hopkins recently said that Canelo, believe it or not, do not be surprised if Canelo does up and cleans out 175. And don't be surprised that he touches a fight or 2 at cruiserweight because of his frame. He goes, you guys remember, he's got like Tyson frame where he can put on mass and he can handle the weight on his body, his frame, his skeletal structure is that of a Tyson. Because Tyson himself was only 5'10", 5'11", 215,
What do you
220.
mean was? That man's back in the ring.
Well, he's still-
Logan Paul, baby!
Well, you know what I'm saying. I personally, because
Can I just give my prediction now?
Hey, you know what? We got a few minutes left.
Win by
Give me your
death.
prediction. Give me your prediction. Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul. Go. You're 30 seconds.
Burn, you're the guest.
I'll just say a few words. Win by death. I think it might take Tyson maybe a round or 2, but he's going to catch him with something big. If it's not one of those fights like he fought with Roy Jones,
Whoa.
where they couldn't knock each other out, that's bullshit, which I think he's going to be able to. But yeah, I think Mike Tyson by murder.
I think he's gonna I think Logan Paul is not a Roy Jones. Even an old ass Roy Jones was
Yeah.
better than Logan Paul. So,
Yeah.
so there's number one, he's not gonna get away from punches.
Right.
He's gonna be shown what decades of muscle memory, boxing skills feel like with an old man who literally did it since he was fucking 14 years old. It's that old man is he's old, but his habits, his muscle memory is gonna come out. He's gonna catch up with something he can't possibly train for.
You know what's
who
scary,
train? How do you train for Mike Tyson?
You don't.
Even an old Mike Tyson.
You don't.
You can.
You don't.
There's no
But
way.
here's the thing. Here's the scary thing. Logan Paul agreed to this. Mike Tyson decided to put his career of podcasting on hold so that he can train.
That's not good for
Because-
Logan.
Because it's in December. Now,
That's coming fast.
Mike Tyson said, I will put my podcast on hold so I can train for this. But you're going to pay what I'm making on my podcast for these months or weeks that I'm going to be on hold. So he agreed he's going to pay for that, right?
Okay.
You just took the chain off the beast. You took the chain off the beast. You're going to see what an old man can bring to the table who has beaten the crap out of other boxers, and now he's bringing it to you. Now, with that being said, my prediction, Mike Tyson wins by death to Logan Paul. And it's going to be, you guys remember Rock'em Punch'em Robots?
Yeah, the Rock'em Sock'em
Rock'em
robots.
Sock'em
Yeah.
robots,
Do you think that's
gonna be
what's
his
gonna
head.
happen?
That's going to be his head.
Look, dude.
Something bad's gonna happen. I'll tell you that.
Logan hit Mayweather a flush a few times because Mayweather basically led him. If you watched how he was fighting, but if you couldn't hurt a 150-pound Mayweather, you're not gonna hurt even as old as Tyson is. You're not gonna hurt a man who took the fucking colossal hits by Lewis, by Holyfield, but it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about his little sister fighting Tommy Fury.
Hannah Montana, you mean?
Hannah Montana with beard.
See, I don't know. I'm kind of like.
That one's a bit closer of a fight.
Yeah, it is a lot
It's more
closer. of a
competitive
fight.
because you're kind of at the same level if you really think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Tommy was
Tommy-
a star, right? Like a TV star.
yeah, Tommy Fury. I mean, he's an actual legit boxer, and he comes from, of course, we know.
The Furies.
The Fury. You know, his brother's a heavyweight lineal heavyweight
His uncle-
champion of the
his
world.
uncle, right?
No, it's his brother. Tyson Fury's Tommy Fury's his little brother. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
Tommy Fury's his little brother.
He just looks much older.
Well, yeah, and I mean, he even said like this, which I mean, I think it's kind of harsh.
Fury's her nephew. Or his
Yeah,
cousin or
yeah.
something like that. Okay.
So he told Tommy, if you lose this fight, I'm making you retire from boxing.
And
You know what I
changing your
mean?
name.
And yeah, so I mean, I think it's a lot closer than people think it
It was
is.
gonna be. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just think it's a lot closer. You know,
Tommy. They're gonna change his name to Tommy Paul.
Tommy Paul.
Well, we got that in, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and join you guys while we open up and take the shot. And the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna do it to the mariachi sounds that Canelo brought in, and we say salud to everyone who joined us. Thank you so much.
Salud.
We will see you guys in our next podcast, where we'll hopefully have a better camera on me.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live feed of our reaction to the fight. On Instagram Live.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get close to over there.
And I'll definitely be there this Saturday.
Salud, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
There we go. Why don't we look? We look like the Mad Comics, the spies.
Yeah.
Remember the spies? Remember the spies though? The comic
You
spies.
can just call me Castor Troy.
No, they weren't the comic spies, guys.
What were they?
Those were called Good Spy, Bad Spy.
Good
Yes.
spy. Yeah.
That was on Mad TV. Yeah.
All right.
Salud,
Salud.
guys. Wonderful. See you guys. Canelo.
Viva Mexico.
Viva Mexico.
Canelo.
Canelo,
Do what you
10th
gotta do.
round, Mike Tyson.
Taking a
by
bite
murder.
down, baby.
1, 2, 3.
Fuck, I'll do whatever.
Down for whatever, huh?
Oh, that was harsh.
So we'll edit that and make a podcast out of it.